I'm Ray. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna tell you 13 ways to learn music other than practicing. Please do not tell your music teacher about this if you're a music student. Just kidding. It's actually applicable to all genres, and you can tell your music teacher about this because I got this idea from my music professor when I was in college. That time I was taking double major in piano performance and jazz studies, and I pretty much burned out because you know, when you practice classical piano, it actually takes hours to practice and memorize. So I don't have much time to practice jazz. For me, classical piano is what I'm gonna pursue in career, I mean teaching, and jazz music is what I'm gonna do for my hobby, and my interest is my passion. I love jazz, so I have decided to take these two majors. I know I have to put in a lot of hours to practice, but I didn't know it's gonna burn me out. So I brought the concept of practicing classical piano into jazz piano. Actually, it could be right and it could be wrong, but at that time I think it was wrong, because practicing jazz is not only about practice. You have to have good ear, you have to have good theory, you have to have good oral, which of course when practicing classical piano you should have those, but you're not focusing that much when you are practicing classical piano. At least this is for me, this is only my opinion, okay? So I broke down in my jazz piano class. My jazz professor told me you can practice piano other than actually practice in front of the piano. That concept actually blew my mind. He gave me some suggestion about practicing piano other than practicing. I'm gonna share with you, and I'm gonna add some of my own ideas. So it became 13 ways to learn music other than practicing. First one is listen to music actively. Listen to every part of the music, like what instruments is playing, how the music is played, within dynamics, the phrasing, the chord, the bass line, like everything. Especially how the musician interpret the music, because every musician is different. When you actually listen to different musicians, you have to pick and choose the one that you like. Only the one that you like. Let's say in classical, when I was learning a song, after I play the song, some part is not musically logical. Somehow I feel like this part is really making me uncomfortable. I always have a hard time to solve the phrasing or whatever, so I usually listen to different of recording, just imitate how the pianist is playing. After that I get the idea, then I just copy a little bit and I play in my way, and then eventually it become mine somehow. For jazz, I like to play with the recording. When I transcribe, I just play with the recording. When the time passes, I kind of get the idea of swing or the phrasing or the beats, how they play. It actually helps me a lot. Number two, watch live concert. I know right now it's pandemic period, so you cannot actually watch live concert. However, you can watch YouTube videos, or you can go to like other website to watch live concert. There are still some live performance out there. One of my favorite is NPR in YouTube. If you have watched a live concert from NPR, you know how good they are. By watching live concert, it's a little bit different from listening because you get the visual idea, and somehow it will actually inspire you on how to play on stage. It's a little bit weird, but every time if I play or I record a video of performing, some of the image of me watching the live concert of other people will just pop out, and it's gonna inspire me. Okay, so I'm gonna play in this way, and like how I'm gonna do. It's just so weird unconsciously. Number three, you can download the music apps. Probably this is more for music students. Music apps to learn music theory, music apps to learn oral, to train your ear. The apps actually help you to learn in a fun way. Then, okay, here is the material and you're just gonna practice. I think this is a little bit boring. The music apps that I use and I recommended my student to use, first one is Perfect Ear. Actually, I got this from my vocal teacher that time. I learned a little bit vocal for a while, but I'm very bad at singing. Whatever. I couldn't sing in pitch, a really good pitch, so she recommended me Perfect Ear, this app, to train my hearing and my singing. However, I also use these apps to train my students to listen to the intervals. It does really help, and I think they have fun because they only have 10 questions, sometimes 20 questions. You can just finish this one within 5 to 10 minutes. Just take a big chunk of time, play with it. They just think it's fun. The second app is Simply Piano. I have some younger students actually bought the apps. They really like to play the piano after they're using the apps. You can see like many ads on YouTube about Simply Piano. You have to check it out if you are a beginner. I think this is really fun for a beginner because they have the background music and you can actually play with it. Number 4, tap and count the beats while you listen to the music. This is a little bit related to the first one, but this is more interacting. When you listen to the music, maybe you can just dance with it and you can like try to count the beats, like try to think, oh, is it in 3/4 or 4/4 or 6/8? While you're doing that, when you play the music, it's more in time and more groovy. It just gonna go into your mind. It's so weird. Last time, Danny did suggested me to learn a little bit of the hand drums. Maybe you can just do and subdivide the beat when you listen to the music. That's one of the way that he learned from his teacher. I think I found that really helpful. Number 5, you gotta sing. When everyone who is learning an instrument, some of the people that will say that I'm not good at singing, I cannot sing. Please don't ask me to sing. That's why I choose an instrument. Maybe that's why you choose the instruments. However, when you learn until certain stage, you gotta sing to be able to create the phrase. I love to sing, but I'm not really good at singing. That's why I took the vocal lesson and I was practicing a lot at night. Then when Danny came home one time, he even knee down, he just said, please, can you please don't sing anymore? I'm sick of it. Okay, that's a fun story. But when you sing, you can actually think of the breathing of the phrase. Let's say, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, oh, I wonder what you are. So you have the space to breathe. Then when you play while you sing, you kind of put in the breath inside your playing. It's so cool. What you play somehow makes sense. Number 6 is to learn about the composer, the musical genre, a little bit about the history actually. I recommend you a book called Daily Routine. It's the routine of some artists and some musicians. You can actually see the daily routine of Mozart. It's quite interesting, or Beethoven. While you're learning about their routine, you can actually learn, oh, they actually put in how much effort into the music. What are the elements that makes them a good musician? It's gonna inspire you. Number 7, learn about musical instruments and learn about the sound. Maybe this is not that important for other instruments, but for the piano player, you have to be able to imitate different sound within your fingers. Maybe you're playing Baroque period music and you have to imitate harpsichord sound or some sonata, and you have to imitate strings instruments. Or if you're a jazz musician, when you play a song, you probably need to imitate trumpet sound or saxophone sound or the drums. So when you learn about the sound of the musical instruments, it's gonna help with your phrasing, the way that how you play, or the intonation. Sometimes you need to play a little bit shorter, sometimes you need to play a little bit longer. It's weird. When you have the sound in your ear, it's really easy for you to play it out rather than the teacher tell you, play detached, play short, play longer, play in staccato. Of course, the teacher will do the same. Well, they'll still do that. But after you listen to those instruments and you actually comprehend the sound, it will just come out naturally. Number 8, play music with your music friends or your siblings or your parents who already know how to play musical instruments. When you are playing a duet with someone, I say piano, you cannot focus solely on yourself. It's not about you anymore. It's about listen to other people. Oh, maybe he's playing this theme, then it's my turn. Maybe he will be playing this staccato motif soon, so I get ready while I play. Active listening of your partner when you are playing music. You're gonna enjoy music a little bit more. Or when you play in a band, after practice so many times, you somehow know that, oh, this part is the drum, this part, the bass is gonna play a line, something like that. It will improve your listening tremendously. It will improve your listening. Number 9, have a conversation with your music friends. I remember that time we need to practice jazz band and we need to walk 10 to 15 minutes to the practice room from our main building to the practice room. Every time when I walk over there, I will meet some of my bandmates, my friend who is in the band. Then we start to talk. On that 10 minutes walking distance, I somehow learned the way that how they practice, the way that how they approach music, what musician they've been listening lately, and what's their favorite music, and a lot of things. I think those little stories really inspire me. After the conversation, I will go back, maybe check the musician out, then I also learn something. I was like, oh, I see, I have never heard of this musician before. Right now, I like this musician. Or, oh, this approach of 251 is really cool, then I'm gonna try it, or something like that. It's really helpful. You're gonna help your friends as well. What you have been listening or whatever you say about music is gonna inspire them as well. So some of them we still keep in touch. It's really good. It's really inspiring. I love them. Number 10, keep your practice diary. I actually did this when I was learning classical piano, but in fact, I don't keep a really long diary. I remember I did this for a couple months, and then the next year I did another couple months. I don't do this like constantly. However, when I wrote down whatever I learned from the lesson, it's gonna doing the second revision for my brain. Today, the teacher taught me about arm weight, so I wrote about arm weight. Okay, and then teacher mentioned about this classical pianist. I would wrote down the name and check them out. Or the teacher mentioned about the wrist movement, the technique, wrote them down, and I add a little bit of description of how I understand them. Like I need to move this way or whatever. I wrote for several months and I stopped because it's too tired. Then the next year, I pull out a book and I write again. When I refer back to the previous diary, it's gonna remind me of, oh, actually I have forgotten this. It's really helpful and whatsoever. Maybe you can try. Number 11, creating music on your instruments, like improvisation, or just play something that you like. You can just noodling on the piano. Maybe you find this is ridiculous, but it actually helped me to like release the stress from practicing. Just purely fall in love with the musical instruments. A long time ago when I was practicing, I kind of get sick of what I've been practicing because it's just the same thing over and over again. So what I will do is maybe I'll just take like this melody, play this melody for a couple times. The next one, I'll just play whatever I hear on the piano. Maybe sometimes it's slow, sometimes it's fast, sometimes it's legato, sometimes it's staccato. I think I will be playing that for half an hour or 1 hour. Sometimes I'm just like in the zone, enjoying my own playing. No matter it's good or bad, but it actually helped me keeping my interest and passion for a long run. Right now, when I start to write serious music on Spotify, those periods actually help me a lot. For now, when I start to write music, I don't need to struggle. Like, let me show you. This is C major. What do I hear? this kind of thing for really long time, because when I play something like that, I kind of put in the mood of the moments. It's really fun. It's the way that how I really stress as well. And by doing that is one of the way to help me finding my sound, even though I'm still on my way to find my sound. Number 12, read music books. I will not say this is really super helpful in my musical journey. Somehow it does help with my mental. To be honest, sometimes when you play on the stage, what you play, it's actually not that important than how you think. Maybe you think this is ridiculous. Of course, you have to practice a tons before you get on the stage. But after you are on the stage, you have to think in a way that, okay, I'm playing this for myself, not for the audience. I don't care like how the audience thinks, the good or the bad about me. I'm just gonna enjoy that moment. This is very important because some of the people have the stage fright and they worry about playing wrong notes all the time. I was one of them, and I think probably I'm still one of them, but I'm trying to change my mind about that. So one of the books that I can recommend you is Effortless Mastery. One of the topic is say there's no wrong note. You have to read the book, and it actually teach you a lot about how you think while you learn music and what is more important for you than just practice. Hope it helps. The other books is my textbook when I was in college. Right now, when I'm teaching, I'm still using them because it's really helpful. One is the jazz theory book and the jazz piano book. To be honest, when my professor was teaching in the class in the college, they usually don't use the book, you know, because they just teach us the concept and we just learn. And then we just pass the course. So I never read the book. But after the semester, maybe during the summer or during the weekend, after the class, I was like, okay, I cannot be that not motivated anymore, or I cannot waste my time. Then I start to read the textbook. Oh my god, what the professor taught is outside of the book. While you're combining what he taught, the concept that he taught us, into learning the book, it's actually really helpful. I was so regret that I didn't start to read the book long time ago, but right now I'm still reading the book sometimes, so it does really helpful. It does really helpful. So you're gonna read the book, but do not be the bookworm that only read the book but not practicing. I think that is no. That is a no. You have to listen, you're gonna practice and read the book. Number 13, listen to music passively. I put this as the last one because this is the most enjoyable for me, I think. When I was showering, I will put my phone in a glass outside my shower and then make it super loud so I can enjoy the music while I shower. Or when I'm doing the housework, I will play the music and just enjoying the music. It does really help in my inspiration. When I start to play some nonsense, I got a new idea all the time. When I create the music, I was like, okay, I think I listen to this idea in the morning. I'm just gonna put in the idea and let's see what I'm gonna write. For me, I think it's really important to listen music passively as well. Okay guys, so these are my tips for you to learn music other than practicing. However, this is not the only way, and this is only my way. If you have other way, please comment down below. And do not ever think that, okay, I'm just gonna do this 13 ways but not practicing. No. This is not gonna help if you don't practice. You have to have certain amount of practice, and while you're doing these ways that I told you, it's just gonna accelerate your practice a lot. I hope it does help you in your practice. See you guys in next video. Bye.